So, congratulations. And I wanted to know what's it like and how did you prepare for bringing Pete to life?
You know, we're really lucky today. I think the availability online, to be honest, of footage, of interviews, of concerts, of the documentary record of a guy like Pete Seeger is you can do it. You can do it sitting at your dining room table. I mean, 20 years ago, I would have had to go to there's a museum in New York I love called the Museum of Film and Television, where they have these archives of everything that was ever recorded on television. And I remember at the time I thought, what a treasure trove. And now it's all on YouTube.
From your kitchen table.
Yeah, which is, we take it for granted, but the ability to do research
Hmm.
on a person who lived from 1919
Hmm.
into the 2000 and teens is
It's great
it's phenomenal, actually.
to have the
Yeah,
resources.
the resources are truly
Awesome.
mind-boggling. It's an actor's dream.
Okay. What about your work? Like, did you have to learn music and playing the
I,
instrument for the role?
I've I've played guitar for a long time, so I had a musical grounding, and I even a technical grounding, but the banjo is very different, Pete Seeger played I think people who play modern banjo will recognize he had a very strange, it was an especially long neck, and it was a more antique and a form of the
Classic,
banjo.
right?
Yeah.
It's a classic. It's kind of like special to him. So you were playing a close character to Bob with Jim Mangold movie and Timothy Chalamet playing Bob Dylan. The I could see since you were like part of his like discovery. In the same time, there was kind of a complex relationship between you both. Sometimes you wanted to talk to him, but you were hesitant. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Jim, the thing if I had any hesitation about the idea of trying to represent these very iconic, very famous artists, Jim Mangold really blew that away, because he was very he was very articulate about his interest being in the collisions, the artistic and social dynamics of these people who were in this tight circle of creativity together, and the things that flowed up and out of those. Jim always called them juicy. He said these are really
Mm.
juicy
Mm.
interactions, and
Yeah.
sometimes they were both supportive and competitive,
Yes.
or they were they were in step for a while, and then they were not in step. You know what I mean? So I think Jim's interest was not in history at all, but more in what produces how do people's relationships with each other produce these moments of cultural fertility in some ways. And I think he was interested in what was behind these historical events, and that's what made it, to me, like, it didn't have the burden of history. It was more about examining interpersonal dynamics. And I think he's very wise, Jim, in that way. And I think instead of making a biopic, which is impossible, these people, Bob Dylan's 83 years old, and Pete Seeger lived from 1919 to, almost 100 years. And you can't really, a biopic of Bob Dylan would have to be like 15 hours long. And that might still be too short. You know what I mean? So I think he was really interested in the collisions that led to this very dramatic moment in Newport, which has this cultural significance. And he was like, let's unpack what was going on in this emergent moment, where Dylan was at the center of this moment.
No, me, I thought you were genius in the acting part, because at some moment I felt you're jealous, and some moment I felt you're pushing, you're kind of protecting him and supporting him. So that was read very well, and it was amazing seeing you. All of this, thank you so much. I like the
Thanks.
setting where you are, and it's good talking to you.
You
I
too, man.
cannot wait. Yeah, I cannot wait for people in Egypt and around the world to see this film and see what a
That's
phenomenal job you made.
that's nice of you. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Edward. See you soon, man. Take care.